Hello everybody, this is Dan Miller for Bluegrass Unlimited magazine, and last week I played a version and tabbed out a version of Fireball Mail, and I said we'd talk about some improvisations and some variations this week, so that's what we're going to do. First of all, I like to think about approaching improvisation from two different angles. The first is if you know the song or know the melody or already know an arrangement and you want to improvise on that, that's one approach. And the other is approach where you don't know the song at all and you got to improvise. Say you're at a jam and somebody calls out a song you've never played before, maybe even never heard before, and you want to take a solo on that. That's a little bit different approach, and I've done some videos about how you might think about approaching that. But today we're going to approach it as if we already know the song, maybe we already have memorized an arrangement, we already play it, and you just want to throw in some different things in there. Now, one of the many reasons I love Earl Scruggs' playing is because Earl was an improvisational player, but he stuck close to the melody, and when he played a song the second time through, the third time through, or on a different session, a different show, it wasn't the same as what he had played before, but it really wasn't that much different. He would throw in just a little bit of a twist here and there just to keep you on your toes and make you think he's that cool factor. Just when you think you knew what he was going to play, he'd throw something just a little bit different in there, and I think that's what made his playing so great, because he would throw those little surprises in there. And so that's really all you have to do. When you know a song and know how to play it, you don't have to go crazy and just reinvent the entire solo. You can take and change just little things here and there. And the reason I have been emphasizing this idea of knowing what the song is made up of in terms of what scales, what notes are in the melody, for me, that helps me decide or give some kind of roadmap to how my improvisation might go. Because I want to have the same sort of feel and the same sort of texture and the same sort of tonality in my solo that the song melody has. And if I know what notes are in the melody and what scales they're based off of, for me, that helps me take an improvisational solo or create new variations and still stay true to the basic texture and tonality of the melody, if that makes sense. So we talked about this song, Fireball Mail. It only has 2 chords, and it primarily uses the notes of the major blues scale, which is the major pentatonic scale, and adding a B flat note to that. And pretty much the melody is that, okay? So how does that help me? That helps me decide where I can stray from the solo I already know, but still stay within the context of those notes. And also, for instance, when I go to the D chord, I know over the G chord it goes to that flat third, and the melody, as I played it last week, does not do that over the D chord, but you can. So if you have a 1-4-5 song and there's a tonality of a major blues in there, maybe over the G chord, then that's one of the things you can think about doing to add the cool factors. Maybe go to that flat third over the C chord relative to the C scale, or the flat third over the D chord relative to the D scale. And so those are the kinds of things I think about. When I know a melody, I like to think, okay, what is going on with this melody? I sort of do a study of the melody, and then when I go to improvise or go to create new arrangements, I try to remain true to the format, basically, or what scales that melody's coming from, so that I can have the same kind of approach. Not to say that you have to do that. You can certainly go outside of the scale, and it'll just be a little bit farther out and leave the overall tonality of the melody a little bit more. Not to say you can't do that, but anyway, if you want to remain close to the tonality of the song and the melody of the song, it's good to remain within the context of the same scales the melody draws its notes from. Okay, so let's take a look at Fireball Male and some just simple things that you can do to create a variation. Okay, I'm just going to throw out some ideas here, and it would be cool if you came up with your own ideas. Again, we're approaching melody, we're approaching improvisation from the aspect of where we already know the song. And as I mentioned before in some of my improvisation videos, Duke Ellington said that improvisation was spontaneous composition. So you can sit down in your workout, in your practice room, and just go slow and create different things, create different variations. Over time, you'll get better and better and better at that, and then you can create those variations over top of what you already know in real time, and then you're improvising. So that's kind of the way to build it. Don't think you have to do it in real time right off the bat. Woodshed a bit. Come up with ideas. Put pieces of the puzzle together, and then as you get better and better at doing that in your practice space, then eventually you could do that in real time on stage or at a jam. So here we go. Last week we started out like this. For sort of the first pass, okay? Now, what you'll recognize, I did a slide from 2 to 5. And that's a forward roll going from G to G to D, okay? And then I go to that B note, so it goes. So there, I know that's a B note. I know I have a B note here. I could use this note. I know that this song has a major blues feel, so I could use the B flat. So why don't I change my forward roll and go to that B flat as a slide, and then do the pull off. So it would be. Something like that, you know, that keeps in the context of what the song melody does, but adds just a little bit of a twist to it. So the next pass went. Okay, you can change that roll up a little bit, maybe a. So instead of a continued forward roll, I went to that A note, okay, a little bit different there. I didn't do the hammer-on going to the D, I just did a single D note, so that would be. Okay, so over that D note, like I said before, last time I just rolled. Again, this is a forward roll holding that D note down. Why don't I add a little figure there? You could go to this E note, and then, like I said before, the F natural note is the flat third over a D scale. So it would be cool to kind of add that E, which is in the major pentatonic in the key of G, and then go to that F note, so I could do something like before I slide to that G note down here. So that's a little figure you can do. So again, adding that F note is adding the flat third over the D chord, which gives it that major blues tonality over the D chord, because we've been using that tonality over the G chord, okay? So then when you go to this slide, last time we did so last time again, we just went to that note and continued our forward roll. Okay? So why don't I add, instead of just rolling there, I can add this D note here, which is in the chord, in the major pentatonic scale, And I can add this E note here. I could do a little a toggle there. Okay, so that's a little bit different figure that you could add instead of just. Last time I think we ended it something like this. Something like that. It was tabbed out a little bit differently last time. I'll play it more this time like I tabbed it out last time, which I did this little walk down from F to an E to an open D. So you could do something like end it that way. And that's just the way I kind of think about it. I'm still using sort of standard Scruggs rolls, standard Scruggs licks. I'm playing rolls over chords and adding major pentatonic notes and also adding major blues notes, which is the flat third over the G chord and the F note over the D chord. Okay? Alright, so now let's see if we can put that all together. Alright, so there you have it, going through, throwing in some of those variations, and so give that a try. So just use some of those ideas and try to create your own variations to Fireball Male based on some of those ideas. So good luck with that, and this is Dan Miller for Bluegrass Unlimited Magazine. We'll see you next time.